I am so pleased to have the opportunity to share some of the trade secrets and some of the incredible cutting edge technology they have in Slovenia right now. When I say I see the future, I've seen the future of the possibilities of what can be in the state of Texas and in the United States all over. When you learn the healing properties of Manuka honey and other honeys, the nut honey that they found in Slovenia that has the same properties, you want to be able to harvest every single drop of honey that you can. In Slovenia, they have an app that they use. They have hives every couple of miles on a scale. And whenever that scale gets heavier and heavier, they know there's a honey flow. So you can download this app and for a small fee know exactly where the honey flow is in the whole country of Slovenia. And you can move their hives there and you can contract with people to collect that valuable honey. One day, America will have such an app so that we can collect all this incredible honey that is healing and wonderful and pollen and so many products from the hive. I got the rare opportunity to have an interview with Natasha Lilac from the institute that studies honey there in Slovenia. It's so exciting, and I'm so thrilled to be able to bring this to you. We could have this same thing here in the United States. It is incredible. Their country pays for their honey to be tested. We could have that same thing here in America so that we have the best honey possible for the public. Enjoy this presentation. Take a step into the future with me and dream about what could be.
Welcome here in our lab for internal control of honey analysis. It is a small lab which we are using for helping our beekeepers. You know that in Europe we have European directive of honey, and also in Slovenia here is a regulation of honey, so there are written all the conditions that honey has to have to give it on the market. So in this lab we are taking control on the quality parameters of honey. So we are measuring water content, free acidity, diastase number, HMF, sugars like fructose, glucose and sucrose, electrical conductivity, and also we are doing here a pollen analysis because mostly beekeepers turn to us because they are not so confident how to label their honey about botanical origin. So my colleague is working on melissopalinology, and she is then determining the botanical origin of the honey. Also microscopic analysis, electrical conductivity and sensory analysis have to be done to put the correct label. And sometimes, especially older beekeepers, they are observing bees where they are flying and they are thinking maybe some nectar or honeydew will appear, and usually they make a mistake. And if you put on the label wrong botanical origin, this is not good, because if the inspection gets you, you are then labeled like misleading the consumers about the correct of origin of the honey. So we are trying to help them to be educated and that they know how to determine botanical origin, and they get all these services for free. Yeah, we are under the government. We have like advisory service on beekeeping, and they then get a report. And important, what we do here is that we are not like some kind of inspection. We don't punish beekeepers if they do something wrong. We just tell them, hey, you have a little bit too much water in your honey, check out what are you doing wrong, you know. Mm-hmm. So this is really trusting relationship between workers here and our beekeepers, and to help them to improve their technology of producing honey and also the other bee products. So mainly on winter and autumn time, then the beekeepers has a lot of time. We have lecture for them about good beekeeping practice, and they are attending in major groups to this education. And I think that this is the only way to make improvement on this field. And also, high GMF in honey, it is one main criteria. So we know that it is natural process that honey crystallized, and then you have to heat it, and we are then also performing this kind of analysis to help beekeepers that they know right how to correct the best before date, because we have the regulation about the highest content of the high GMF in honey, and maybe botanical origin determination, high GMF content. These are the main parameters which are doing here.
What is high GMF?
This is one organic substance in honey which is increasing during the storage process, or if honey is storing on the very hot temperature, if honey is too much heated, this parameter is going higher, and there are in the regulation that high GMF can be higher than 40 milligrams per kilogram in honey. So when this content increase higher than 40, the honey can't be sold anymore, and we have to put it from the market. And if you are heating the honey, if the honey is if honey was harvested a few years ago, then this parameter is going high. So
is that a bacteria?
Is it toxic?
No,
It's not toxic.
For the bees, it is toxic, but high GMF is substances which you can find in all food that contains sugar, even fruit juices, marmalades, jams, much higher values than in honey. So
what's the problem? It's the value is too high. Why is this wrong?
They thinking about, and some of scientific publication are on the high GMF because they have negative influence also in human nutrition if this content is too much. Yeah. They also prescribe some cancerogenic activity and so on. For the bees, it is damaging in a lot of smaller concentration, but for human, they are not prescribed. But I think that our food and everything is so much processed with adding sugar, and we are eating this every day. But I think that bees which have a shortened life, it is this more, you can see it before, so
Sure.
dying bees and so on, it appears usually, and all these stuff are not so good for bees and also for the human, but in our lifespan is a little bit different, so a lot of diseases and everything that are like some kind of really increasing in last few years. I think it is depend a lot on nutrition and processed food and so on. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, I think so.
The bees are kind of an indicator
Yes.
species.
Yes, yeah. Also for the environment pollution, and also this is one of parameter which also we can transfer to our human nutrition, and maybe but there are not so much of researches yet on human nutrition about that.
I'm sorry, you test for pesticides too?
No, here in this lab we are not doing the pesticides analysis because we don't have such a good equipment, but we are cooperating with Agriculture Institute and also some national laboratories which they perform that kind of analysis for acaricides which are used in the bee treatment and also for pesticide from the environment, from treating trees and other crops with different chemicals. And I have to say that last few years we are a lot informing the people about good agriculture practice, when to sprinkle and everything. And for the past few years we really don't have any much problem with bees dying about pesticides. Yeah, so this is really great information, and we are every spring we are trying to be as much loud as we can be about preserving the bees, to save the bees, and to tell the agriculture and the farmers to be aware how to sprinkle and when to sprinkle, that they don't harm the bees. So I think that general public is becoming more and more aware, and this is really great thing that we are doing here. And also something special what is going on, we have this year really bad weather, for May it is too cold, bees are not flying, they don't find any food in the nature, and so we are forced to feed the bees on May when it's supposed to be very hot, and bees should develop really quick, and everything should blooming. And I don't know, each year you have to adapt to the situation, and it is not so good for the bees. And we are also trying to encourage general public to plant melliferous trees and all herbs and other flowers that bees can also find some food on that plants. So it is a lot of what is going on here. Maybe from this promotional thing, we also, maybe you see these jars and our honey. We have 3 types of honey which are also protected on EU level with geographical indication and geographical origin, and also our own jars, so our consumer don't have to watch the label and see where is the origin of the honey, and read it. You just see the jar and that here is only Slovenian bee products, honey, bee pollen, and everything else. So this is one good thing to make more recognition on our bee products. For now, we are doing only honey analysis, because for bee pollen, royal jelly, propolis, we don't have any regulation here in Slovenia, and also in EU and spreader, because last few years we are doing some characterization of chemical composition, also bee pollen, royal jelly, propolis, that we find what we have in these bee products, and then we will try to make some national standard of quality for other bee products, because honey, it is material which can be adulterated. It is a big problem in the world about honey adulteration. So we are trying also to do some quality characteristic for other bee products, that there not be anymore some kind of fraud on this area. So yeah, a lot of research work is also done here by me and my colleagues, which are working on bee products. And this lab, because it is small, but for what we need and to advise beekeepers, is a great thing that we have here, and that beekeepers don't have to pay for this kind of analysis, because every analysis it is not cheap, and then we can really make some good service and to improve our beekeeping technology on this field. So yeah,
How many tests do you do per year?
300 and more samples of honey, yeah, but we are working just 2-3 people,
Yeah.
and
enough.
not enough, yeah. On the major, we are having control on the honey, which have stricter regulation of quality, Slovenian honey with protected geographical indication, and also karst honey with geographical origin, and Kočevje forest honey also with geographical origin. So they the quality parameters of this protected honey are stricter than the regulation which we have in EU. And for the last few months, we are really trying to push on our politics, because the regulation of honey, they allowed to label the origin of the honey just mixture of honey from EU and no EU. So you really don't know the traceability of that honey, and we would really like to achieve that that origin of the honey has to be put on with the correct label to chase any bad practices on the market, because honey, it is not only good food, but a lot of people use it like a medicine for therapeutical purposes. And if you pay, you have to get the real honey, and with putting the correct origin on the label, we also can chase the bad practices and find which country are these who are frauding the honey and put on the market honey which is not authentic. Yeah.
Good.
So we hope that this will be a story of success, but it is not. It is not easy, because here is a market in the back and everything, and it is a lot of politics. Yeah, yeah. You can't imagine it is like scientific thing, but politics is very important stuff here. So yeah,
Good job.
yeah, it is very interesting. We are working a lot with the beekeepers, and they are elderly people, and you have to really
Gain a trust and
yeah, of course, and motivated them to make improvements. But we are really happy that in last few years the average age decreased, for 58 years.
Wow.
Before there was 63, I think so.
Wow.
Yeah. But a lot of beekeepers go to schools, elementary schools, and also secondary schools, and there have education for children. And not all will become beekeepers, but the awareness about preserving our nature beasts starts there, because they are then transferring them to their parents, grandparents, and the children are the most precious public about increasing awareness about importance of the preserving nature, and also the bees, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's your name?
Natasha.
Natasha.
It's
Do you
a
have
Russian name, but I'm not.
not Russian? What's your last name, if I may?
Lilek.
Can you spell that?
Lilek.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So, you went to school to do all this, or where did
Yeah.
you? How do you get your job? Like, where did you go to school?
My diploma was on honey, and before I was working in the lab as a student, because I was, performed the analysis of the honey. So then the job offered, and I applied, and because I have experience as a student working in the lab and knowing that kind of analysis, they then employed me here. But generally, I was studying on biotechnical faculty of food technology. And my diploma was characterization of Slovenian lime, spruce, fir honey.
Oh.
And all analyses which are performed here, I was doing on faculty. So it was not so much trouble just to transfer to
Yeah.
change here. But I have to learn a lot because before I was not a beekeeper. And if you want to work here and if you want to go to have a lecture for the beekeepers who are really like 10, 20, 30, 40 years with beekeeping
Yeah.
experience, you have to learn. And then I decided to build an apiary at my home where my parents live. So we were not a beekeeping family at all. And if you told me like 20 years ago you will have a bees, I will go, come on, be you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we put the apiary. Now I have 32 bee colonies on the southern region of Slovenia, and every weekend I travel down to this area to check my bees.
Yeah.
It is
A lot of
sometimes, yeah, a lot of work. But you know, when I go to have a lecture and I know the technology, I am more calm and more practical to present this to our beekeepers, you know, because if I just went to the lecture and I'm like just theory on from the books, they were like,
Yeah.
oh my God,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
are
yeah.
not serious, you don't know
No,
how to work
yes.
with bees and so on. So you have to be a beekeeper to work here.
To
Yeah.
talk
Yeah,
about.
because it is practice and
Yeah.
theory. And I observed that a lot of beekeepers, then you are, they appreciate you more because they know that you are also facing the problems that they are facing. Yeah.
Mhm.
And you then know the point of the conversation about technology and everything. So
Wow.
for now, I have more than 10 years my bees and a little bit experience. I am not saying I know everything. I am learning every year, you know.
Something new all the time.
Yes.
Because this is continuously process. You can be really like I'm knowing now everything about the bees because this is nature. Every year is different,
Yeah.
environment, everything is changing. And I think that this is what is chasing us on, you know, like very interesting, motivating. And I know that in spring, after the few months of winter, snow and everything, I'm like just, oh, bees. I want to check how they survive, if they are okay, and
Yeah.
when they starting to develop, and when there is some kind of life in the beehive, you are like, oh, this is therapy for me, you know, because when I come home for a weekend to check my bees, these few hours, they are just for me, you know.
Yeah,
I'm not thinking what I will do at work and later and the next week. I am just thinking what I am doing with my bees, and it is some kind of therapy. You know?
Yes.
It is. It is. And I like it very much.
We do too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
That's why we're here learning.
This understands only beekeepers.
Yes.
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 Some people is going to the gym, or I don't think some kind of massage and so on. I'm going to my
My
bees.
bees, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So you know, it's come under your skin.
Yeah.
Love for the bees, and you are
Yes.
like some kind of
Under my
addiction,
skin,
you
yeah.
know, and you can help yourself. So I was always like, I will have a few hives, not too much. No, I'm every year more. So,
Yes.
but this will lead me.
Are you as excited as I am? What a wonderful, wonderful opportunity we have to truly realize what our honey is worth. I did a presentation on bioactivity level, BAL, honey assay, about the qualities of honey and how they can be tested. And you heard her say that if honey is overheated, the bees won't even eat it. It's not healthy for them. It's not healthy for us either. Such discoveries is wonderful and necessary for us to do better for ourselves and for our children. God has blessed us with food that lasts forever. We need to take care of that food and protect its properties and all the healing qualities for our body. God made this incredible creature for you and me. Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. What an incredible, incredible creature honeybees are. His homeland, Israel, is said to be the land of milk and honey. I've been to Israel. I've been to Jordan. I found a few jars. That's it. I'm going to live and help make Israel part of the land of milk and honey. One day, I will be a beekeeper there. And I hope all of you will join me. In World Bee Day in 2018, May 20th, they were doing what they could to make awareness so that we don't lose the honeybee. But the Bible guarantees that we never will. But that takes all of us to come together and realize how precious they are. To God, the glory. I love you all, bee friends. We are a family. Thank you so much. Be brave. Be brave and step forward. Step forward with God, with Jesus. Step forward with the world into the land of milk and honey. We can share it together. Thank you, and I love you very much.